Hey you, how have you been? I bet you've been playing that new game Palworld, haven't you? Hey, no judgment here, big dog. I myself have been turning into a little gremlin staying up until 2 a.m. playing this fucking absolute beauty. Palworld is an open-world survival sandbox that meets Monster Collector. Think Rust and Pokemon had a baby. It honestly kind of feels like Wildcard Studios rebranded themselves and re-released Ark, what with their actual re-release of Ark not doing so well in the review category. And before the random Ark fanboy jumps on me in the comments, I promise you, I've got skin in the game, chump. Step off. Now, Palworld has been extremely well received since it's hit Steam's digital shelves. Aside from the vocal Pokemon babies who have been, crying about Game Freak's divine right to an entire genre, listen, if you're the one out there screaming about this, who hurt you? Hear me out. There's some actual criticisms of this game. Certain aspects are for sure inspired by recent major hits.
Nobody's gonna know. Nobody's gonna know.
They're gonna know.
How would they know?
But at the end of the day, hating this because it's Pokemon but not Pokemon is a little silly, honestly. At the core, the two games only share one similar concept. I mean, with that thought process, were the 19th century southern states also infringing on Nintendo's IP here? Uninspired hate aside, Palworld has had a meteoric rise through the Steam charts. It actually holds the highest number of concurrent players for a paid game in Steam's history. The success Palworld has been able to find with such a small development team has been nothing short of incredible, regardless of how you feel about the game. But with all that being said about Palworld, here, let me show you what I've been doing. Now, I didn't follow the come up of this game at all. I actually woke up the morning of release fully intending to scratch my Tarkov itch. But in my Discord group chat, I noticed a buddy of mine, Sunshine, mentioning Pokemon with guns. Like the rest of the internet, that's all that was really needed to get $26 out of my Steam wallet and countless hours out of my life. I'm just joking, by the way. It's not countless. Steam keeps track of that for you. It was 150 hours. Not really important, just letting you know.
Because knowledge is power!
The boys and I started up our first world together, with Sunshine being the server owner. This is important because your character and your progression are directly tied to the world that you're in. What that means is, if Sunshine isn't on and playing, I wouldn't be able to make progress moving forward. Again, not that important right now, but something to keep in mind for later. Now, upon booting up the game and getting past the initial cutscene, I gotta be honest with you, I wasn't too impressed. You gotta remember, I played a lot of Ark. This reminds me a lot of Ark, and if anything, that puts me on edge. It does give you a beautiful view right at the beginning that sets a clear goal. Get to this glowy thing. Adventures twice as perilous have been started for half as much, and I'm a simple man. If it glow, I go.
I'm a simple man. I like pretty dark-haired women and glowy things.
Unfortunately, the game lumps this beautiful eye candy with a tutorial. And while it's true, I have no idea how to play this game. Every video needs an unsung hero, and this is going to be ours here. The mechanics for staying alive in this survival game are not unlike any other survival game you may have played already. You eat food, you build a base, you stay alive, and progress. But the twist here with Palworld is, you get to capture and coerce these pals to do the basic things for you.
It's society. They work for each other, Morty. They pay each other. They buy houses. They get married and make children that replace them when they get too old to make power.
That just sounds like slavery with extra steps!
Ooh la la.
Now, just like other games similar in nature, you get experience for doing pretty much everything in this game, with the biggest groups of experience coming from beating a boss and capturing pals. Now, as far as capturing pals, you're going to hear this description probably a billion times in this video, but it's the only way I can really think of to explain it and have you relate at home. It's just like Pokemon. You hit the little shits until they're weak, throw your sphere, and you pray you end up catching them. Now, there is a limit to the amount of experience you can actually get for catching these pals though, because once you've caught 10 of the same type, the game considers your collection of this pal to be done, and you'll get the same amount of experience you get for doing other less meaningful tasks. Now, the reason we even want to level up is to have access to the different pal technologies you can get throughout the game. Essentially, it works very similar to Ark in its engram system. When you level up, you're given access to a few more pieces of technology that you can unlock with tech points. In every level, you're given more tech points to spend. There is some absolute garbage in this list, okay? A lot of stuff we're not gonna buy. In fact, we're gonna hoard this shit like a dragon hoards its gold. The reason being, there are saddles that we can purchase. They're gonna make the game way funner. Because the only thing cooler than killing these cute creatures out of necessity and for survival is to make them your beast of burden eternally for pure convenience. This game also features open world mini bosses called Alpha Pals. Now, Alpha Pals are bigger, stronger versions of the normal pals, and then some of them, there aren't a normal pal version. You have to catch them as the Alpha Pals. Kind of like my pal Sponge. Look at that jawline. I don't think I've ever seen a non-alpha version. Speaking of Sponge, on that first morning, we were able to progress all the way to the first boss. See, the trek to the tower wasn't that far, and we were able to build ourselves and our teams up pretty well. While we hadn't understood the nuances of combat quite yet, we were feeling pretty confident in ourselves and decided to test our teams against the first big hurdle the game has had to offer us. The leader of the Rain Syndicate and the first tower boss, Zoe and Grisbolt. Now, these two were a little bit difficult and ended up putting me down a few times during this fight, but I had my boys to back me up when I needed them most. Little spoiler here, by the way. I made this fight and most of the game much more difficult than it needed to be. I did not start using the rechargeable shields that you unlock at level 4 until I unlocked the final tier around like level 44 or somewhere around that. So yeah, I made the game much harder for myself, but making my life harder is something I do best. Finally, after a tense back and forth, we were able to put Zoe and Grisbolt down and earn our spot at the top of the tower we had been drifting towards since we started the game up and got out of the tutorial. Looking out at the landscape, I earned my first achievement, Hillside Sovereign, and I felt a familiar sense of accomplishment. At that point, I already knew what was going down. I like monster collectors, I like survival games, and I'm gonna like getting all the achievements for this bad girl right here. Now, the breakdown of the achievements that we need to earn is extremely straightforward. There's 10 achievements in the entire game, 5 of them being related for beating the 5 bosses of the game, and another 5 of them being related to catching a certain amount of unique pals while you played. Now, we just unlocked the first one for beating the first tower boss, and I've definitely unlocked more of the other ones related to capturing pals. But upon reviewing online, it turns out the achievements are a little buggy. The ones for capturing pals didn't seem to be unlocking unless you were in your own world, at least to begin with. That threw a wrench in my plans initially. It seemed like for me to get these achievements, I would need to be playing with my friends and then go live my own solo life where all I did was catch pals all day. But fate fixed it for me. A few hours after defeating the first boss, my friends had to go and live their life. See, Sponge doesn't particularly like these types of survival games. He was just trying it out for our sake. In Sunshine, the game wasn't what he expected it to be. So the both of them left me alone to go create my own world, where I ended up catching pals all day. From here, I started up my own world and immediately unlocked Beginning of a Legend by catching my first pal. Hey, what's the difference between life and a chickpea? I've never had life pee on my chest before.
Why is everyone so fucking stupid?
It took a dump on my chest here, though. I spent the next 6 days unlocking Newbie Pal Tamer, Expert Intermediate Pal Tamer, and Skilled Pal Tamer. The video's just gone. Poof. I don't know where it went. It's going to be a recurring theme in this video. Not too much to worry about the missing footage though. Honestly, you're not missing a whole lot. The game's got 111 pals for you to explore and collect, and I was only able to capture about 50 different unique type of pals in that 6 days. I was actually eventually able to get my shit together and get a recording save. Roughly around this time, I started making progress on the next 4 tower bosses, thankfully. I was able to make it to the 2nd tower boss, no problem. And I put Lily and Lylene, the leader of the Free Pal Alliance, in the fucking dirt like the plants they are. See, all those days of grinding had overleveled me and my bushy up. What's a bushy, you say? Well, a bushy is a badass flaming samurai who comes out of his sphere with nothing but a blade and a bad fucking attitude. He was more than willing and capable of beating up Lylene, while I took advantage of a human's innate weakness to bullets when it comes to Lily. This absolute overpowering of the 2nd boss left me with a false confidence. I fully believed at this point by myself that I was just a day or so away from beating the game, a fact that couldn't be farther from the truth, which I learned after going and unlocking all the waypoints for the next 3 bosses: the volcano, the desert, and the taller tundra. The mountains, I don't know. Now, on the plus side to this trek around Palpagos Islands, I was able to unlock my next achievement, Seasoned Pal Trainer, for catching my 90th unique pal, which happened to be an Ecthier. I don't think I'm saying that name right, but whatever. This happened just 9 minutes after beating Lily and Lylene, so with all the progress going on, it added to my hubris, and I decided it was time to go challenge the volcano leader. Over and over and over again, I got smashed by this guy. How could he be so fucking hard when I just beat Lily and Lylene like it was nothing? Every death was another step closer to me losing my mind.
Man, I'm gonna break my monitor, I swear.
But my mounting loss streak was starting to teach me something very important, I think. This is a multiplayer game, made for multiple players, and it was time that I got that going. But here's an issue that I faced with my recruitment for this challenge. Where would I find someone dedicated enough to hop on every single night and grind levels out just to help me beat the bosses? So I turned to the only person I knew I could trust. And when my friends said no, I asked my wife. With Miss Cretan by my side, I knew I had the backup that I needed. So for the next week, every night after work, we grinded out experience until our team felt strong enough to take on the 3rd tower boss of the game and the leader of the Brothers of the Eternal Pyre, Axel and Orzurk. During our grind, I managed to unlock the assault rifle, so got a big upgrade on our gun. I was also able to upgrade the Hell Zephyr I was riding on and swap him out for a mighty feathered dragon. And I also caught this insane Verdash with Ferocious and Musclehead, giving him plus 50% attack, but minus 50% work speed, who cares. With my new firepower pal and partner, the only trouble Axel and Orzurk gave me was picking out the correct coffin for the 2 of them. On top of that, I was able to go ahead and unlock the 8th achievement, Volcano Sovereign. With the 3rd boss down, there's 2 remaining, and 2 achievements for me left to get. With the addition of Miss Cretan to the party as well, I was feeling very confident in our progress moving forward. I had to focus on our next opponent, the leader of the Palpagos Island Defense Force and the king of the dunes, Marcus and Failris. Assault rifle in hand, Miss Cretan and I stormed the sandy castle and felt the scorched defeat. I was at a loss. I was at nearly the level cap, we were looking good, and still we were hitting a brick wall. There was one more weapon technology that I could unlock to push our power forward, but what then? Once I unlocked the rocket launcher and used it to defeat Marcus, what about the last boss? If I can't handle Marcus now, how am I expected to handle the last boss then? I knew something more was needed. Something stronger. I needed to be faster. I needed to be better. I needed more power. To my base I retreated. I planned. I consulted the ancient tombs of Mr. Colin. I started to create a monster like Dr. Frankenstein that could stand beside me and elevate me to new heights, hour after hour, egg after egg, ending in disappointment until finally it was born. Virtus was an absolute specimen, sporting 65% additional attack stat and 50% additional work stat. I mean, he is exactly what we needed to elevate ourselves to the heights, able to defeat Marcus. And I mean, literally exactly what we needed. I don't think it could have been any closer with us still winning. In fact, you can hear the excitement in my voice when we're finally able to lay Marcus down and earn the 9th achievement, Desert Sovereign.
Let's go! Let's fucking go! Let's fucking go! God fucking damn it! Babe. Dude, it couldn't have gotten any fucking closer. Ow, I hit my hand and it hurts now.
The next 2 days would unfold to be one of the biggest roller coasters of emotions that I've had in gaming in the past few years. Me and Miss Cretan decided immediately after beating the 4th boss to face the 5th and final boss and the leader of the PAL Genetic Research Unit, Victor and Shadowbeak. But it didn't exactly go our way. In fact, it went way south, and I was dejected. While there weren't too many upgrades left for us to get, a very quick death made me realize I needed to grind those last upgrades out. I spent hour after hour catching and breeding pals and expanding the base to hold all of the trophies we would earn by the end of this journey. All of this to unlock the ability to craft the final and strongest weapon you can craft in this game. With great power comes great responsibility, and this is something I was about to learn the hard way, unfortunately. The assault rifle we had been using beforehand did 320 damage for every bullet that it would use. The rocket launcher deals 10,000. All these hours of grinding had been to unlock the ability to destroy my enemies, but I had forgotten a very important rule. When you point your finger at an enemy, there are 3 pointing back at you. I picked up my rocket launcher that I had finally been able to make, and learned that when you craft a weapon, it comes with a singular piece of ammunition. I looked down the sights and I accidentally left-clicked. Poof. Gone.
Oh my god.
They ask you how you are, and you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
I just blew up like half the fucking base.
I'm not gonna lie to you all, I contemplated with this being the last session for a long while, but I knew I was close to the finish line, and if I didn't end it now, it would just be wasting all the work I had put in up until this point. If I was gonna beat Victor, I needed to hit level 50. And so level 50 I became. Egg after egg, wall after wall, I built it back and then some. Miss Cretan and I grew our team to elite status, loaded our launchers, and topped our damage off with prime grade exterior meat. We knew this was our time, we knew this was our shot, and we stepped into the Astral Tower to face the 5th and final boss one last time and unlock the last achievement.
Eat a dick, nerd. Let's go! Woo! Good shit, baby. There it is. Astral Sovereign.
And that about wraps up our journey here in Palworld. Me and Miss Cretan were able to unlock all the achievements and unlock our crowns. And I really like this game, I'm gonna be honest. Even after unlocking all the achievements, I'm still playing it and having a fun time breeding down the best PAL team that I can. And as of right now, I would highly recommend anybody watching this video to purchase the game and play it. There's definitely going to be bugs that you run into, but it's the type of game that brings people together for hours on end. If you made it this far, please show me some love with a like and subscribe. And if you liked the video, like really liked it, maybe you could share it with somebody. Word of mouth is the quickest way for me to get out there. Anyways, thank you for watching. I hope you stay safe and have a wonderful day.